So I'm always making content about my BMW E92 M3, but there is another vehicle in my fleet, and it is my wife's Subaru XV Crosstrek hybrid, which doesn't get much show time from my content. But I wanted to take some time to show what it has been like to own a hybrid vehicle for 120 plus thousand miles. Now right now it has 122,931 on the clock. By the time my feature on Auto Trader Oversteer comes out, it'll probably have 25,000 based on the mileage my wife puts on this vehicle for work. We put about 25,000 plus miles a year on this thing. So I wanted to just show some of the features of having to deal with a hybrid and a high mileage hybrid, because I know people usually worry about what things can go wrong with having so many, electrical components with a hybrid. So I will tell you that it was smooth sailing for the whole manufacturer's warranty. Now, we crushed that manufacturer's warranty very quickly with, the first year plus a couple months. We were completely done with the warranty, but luckily I opted for an extended warranty, or like an aftermarket extended warranty, which bumped it up to, I think it was 7 years and 100,000 miles. We were never going to make 7 years, but we did use something of the warranty in the 100,000 miles, and to tell you the truth, probably wasn't worth it, because I only used it, needed it once. And that thing that I needed it for was the first issue we had with our vehicle. It began having a bucking metal, or a bucking feeling in the steering when making hard left and right turns, and you could hear some sort of metal on metal contact. And I knew it was from one of the axles, so I took it to our local Subaru dealer, and they determined that the left front axle, the boot was completely worn, so all the lubrication, all the grease in there was just completely gone, and that's where we were feeling and hearing like metal on metal contact. So that was covered under my aftermarket extended warranty, and that was the only item that was covered within any warranty, because right after 96,000 miles, it's just a couple thousand miles before my aftermarket extended warranty was going to go up at 100,000 miles. So we got that axle fixed and replaced under warranty, and then both our Subaru warranty, which was 36,000 miles, that's gone 70,000 miles ago. And I was creeping across the finish line of my aftermarket extended warranty, wondering what issues is this vehicle going to give me. Well, we had a break in between, and our next issue was around, we started feeling some of the hybrid issues. It was around 110,000 miles. We got our first hybrid issue, and we saw up on this dash, I'll have detailed pictures on my Auto Trader Oversteer article, but up on the dash it was telling us to check the hybrid system, to pull over, safely or whatever. And that happened twice in 10,000 miles, and it was one of those issues where we pulled over and it instantly, we turned our car off and instantly cleared the message. But I found out later what the issue actually was, and I'll touch on that when I get to one of our last issues. But so that was happening around 110,000 miles, and we kind of got rid of it by restarting the car, and it happened twice. So after that, we had another mechanical failure. I run an aftermarket wheel, method racing wheel, with an off-road rugged tire for the winter, because I don't want my wife, trekking 40 miles per day to the office in the winters that we have here in southern Pennsylvania. Snow, sleet, ice. I pretty much want her to just, be a tank on the road. So I got her a more aggressive tire for the winter, and I just swapped them one. And I had swapped the aggressive set off, which, have some road noise. And then I swapped back the normal stock hybrid looking wheels for this thing. And there was still road noise, and it was always whisper quiet basically in the car. And I took it to the Subaru dealer, and they determined, out of warranty, obviously, because we crushed that warranty, or the warranty mileage, they determined it was the right rear wheel bearing was completely shot. We're not completely shot, because if it was completely shot, I'm pretty sure a wheel would be off, but, you know, it was on its last leg. And so we got that replaced. Now with a right rear wheel bearing, you know, it caught me off guard, because, you know, we don't really, you know, take this thing off-roading or anything. It just handles some potholes, and I would expect, you know, even in, I'm used to some, you know, old American vehicles, and, you know, they can handle a lot in 120,000 miles, and I didn't really expect the right rear wheel bearing to be failing on me, but we got that replaced as well. And that brings me, so we got that replaced at 116,000 miles, if I didn't mention that already. But that brings me to the hybrid issue that we had. So I mentioned before, at around 110,000 miles, we were having, you know, weird, wonky check engine or check your hybrid battery issues. So along with those check your hybrid battery issues, we lost the ability to stop the vehicle. So when it's in start stop, right where you see, you know, brake, there's like an EV light that comes on when you come to a stop, as long as you don't have like your AC blasting, and it will shut the engine off but run off of a battery. So we lost the ability to do that, but we still retained our ability to charge this hybrid battery, which is in the back, which charges off of regenerative braking and, you know, just fuel efficient driving. So we had that ability still. So that helped me decipher that the issue, and reading on the forums online, that the issue was our auxiliary battery in the front of the car. So there's 3 batteries in this thing. There is a normal car battery that everybody has, which is on the driver's side. The passenger side gets a start-stop auxiliary battery, and in the rear is a very big hybrid battery. So it was the start-stop battery that was going up. And the only reason I figured that out, other than, you know, doing some research in the forums, is one day my wife calls me telling me that there is a god-awful smell coming from in her car. Now, you know, just being on the phone, I'm thinking smell, maybe there's a caliper hanging, something, you know, if there's burning smells, maybe the pad is hanging and she's just constantly ripping on the caliper is ripping on the rotor. And she pulls up in the driveway and instantly smells rotten eggs. So I know it's the battery. So I pop the hood, and the auxiliary battery is just slowly leaking acid, and, you know, it smelled like rotten eggs. So the weird thing about that auxiliary battery is it's kind of a rare size and just output, that there's only like 2 real options other than a $800, last time I checked, Subaru battery plus labor. So I'm not really looking to spend $1,000 on a battery. So I looked up, I think it was Batteries and Bulbs, had a Duracell comparable start-stop battery, and I think Prius has also used this battery. So that's what the guy at the Battery Bulbs mentioned, and I did see that on the forums where it's a Prius comparable battery. But so I replaced the battery once she came home with the, you know, the rotten egg smell at 119,000 miles. So that was a very recent expenditure, and I saved, you know, $600 to $700 by just getting a comparable battery instead of going the route to the dealer and getting, you know, $800 plus whatever the labor is on them to replace the battery. And I should mention that my $200 battery also included them taking my acid leaking battery and installing the new battery. But these are just some of the issues that I've had to deal with having a hybrid now. 2 of them were mechanical, and 2 of them kind of were combined with each other that I learned later. But I'm not really looking forward to any more issues, because the big battery in the back, I looked at the part number, and the hybrid battery for this thing is, I think, $4,500, and that is an on sale price from one of the, you know, the Subaru parts dealers online. So I'm not really looking forward to that. But from the research that I have found online, is if for some oddball reason, other than, you know, some crazy warning lights that are probably going to annoy you, a hybrid Crosstrek can run itself like a normal Crosstrek without, you know, any of the hybrid features. You'll just probably have messages telling you check hybrid, like how I had for the start stop, check your hybrid system, and just things maybe going wrong. Another thing that is not really a big issue is we're starting to have, as I'm writing this article and filming this video, we're starting to have some weird GPS issues. I'm starting to do some research. I don't want to call this as like our newest issue, but I'm still doing research on what is causing it. We have times where we travel with our GPS and she'll want to say like the first command or the first detail of the route. Like if I'm saying a sentence, she says the first two words of that sentence and then goes silent for the whole trip. And then also the time that we will arrive at the destination will be an abnormally long time from the moment that we've left. Like sometimes we do trips around our area that, you know, they're maybe a 2-hour trip from our house, but we really don't know where we're going, so we'll put it in our GPS, and the GPS will have its own time, which will, you know, match the time of the car, but it will tell us that we'll get there like 7 hours later, 8 hours later, when it's really just like 2 hours away from us. So I'm starting to kind of debug this, and it intermittently happens, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to call this an issue at the moment, because, or maybe I should, considering the start-stop hybrid, check hybrid system I had. But this isn't really tied to the hybrid system, because all the hybrid information is displayed on the little mini screen above. This is mostly just like a, you know, infotainment head unit. But that's my newest issue. So I have, you know, 2 mechanical, 2 combined hybrids, and now this wonky 5th head unit issue. So time will tell, you know, hopefully nothing else happens. My serious plan is to get this sucker to, you know, 250,000 miles, just based on the mileage that we put on it. I mean, we own it now, so, you know, it does have some value, being 2015 with 122,000 miles. You can do your own research to figure out what it's worth, but we own it, so, but, you know, I don't feel that we're gonna get that worth out of it. I'd rather just run this thing into the ground and hopefully it stays with us. So be sure to check out my article. It's gonna up on Auto Trader Oversteer. I'm gonna put the link in the description once it goes live, but this is just what it's been like living with, you know, our Subaru XV Crosstrek hybrid. Specifically, it's the hybrid touring model. I think there was 2 hybrid models in 2015. Subaru kind of gave up on this and they canceled production, I think, a year later. So they don't exactly make this anymore. I think there is a full electric Crosstrek coming back out, or it's already out. But Subaru kind of gave up on this, and I'm still not. And hopefully it doesn't give up on me. So, hope you liked this video detailing my life with this hybrid Subaru. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you can.